In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Bee, the new Hivemapper dash cam that's going to be shipping pretty soon here. But first, I'm going to talk about what the expected delivery dates are for these, because I'm seeing a lot of disagreement in the community about when people are expecting to get their Bee shipments. And then I'm going to talk about the two models that they're offering, the Wi-Fi and then the LTE plus Wi-Fi, and some of those capabilities and some of the features between the two and which one I think makes most sense. And then with those different features, how I foresee that impacting the makeup of contributors within this project moving forward and what I think the future state looks like. But before I get started, I do want to remind you nothing in this video is financial advice. You should always do your own research, and this is for your entertainment purposes only. And please remember to subscribe, like, and comment below. All right, talking about the Bee shipment dates. So I'm seeing a lot of different information out there, whether it be Discord or Twitter or X, I guess, and Facebook Hivemapper groups. And a lot of people are saying they're expecting to get their shipments in July. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but I don't expect that we're going to start seeing any shipments until probably late September. And I don't expect that to be many shipments. Really, October, November, December is where I would expect to see things start to ramp up. So if you're a December order, you're probably not going to see your Bee shipment until sometime in the fall, moving into later parts of the year. And this is something that Ariel did speak to in a recent AMA. He was asked about this specifically, and that's exactly what he said. We don't expect to see anything really ship until late September. And in fairness, they did say Q3. I think a lot of people took that as beginning of Q3. They never said beginning of Q3. So end of September, they would still be hitting the mark. But again, I would not expect any major shipments or major production until later in the year. And then moving into 2025, I think they'll ramp up to full production. It is worth noting, they are scaling this to a level we have not seen with the HTC. Their goal is to hit 200,000 units per year. The HTC, they did not set up production to meet anywhere near those numbers. Well, they didn't know what the demand would be. Now that this project's really taken off a little bit and they've gotten their feet under them, they are starting to really scale production to a new level. So I know there's a lot of people that are really frustrated with some of the delays that we've seen with shipments. I do expect that to really ease up moving forward. Now, talking about the two different models of dashcam, you have the Wi-Fi version, you have the LTE version. Now, looking at the different price points, the Wi-Fi version is currently sitting at, $489. The LTE plus Wi-Fi version is $589. Now, the process is going to be quite different with both of these models than the current state, because as it stands today, you have to connect your phone to the dashcam to push firmware updates to it, to download imagery and upload imagery. You won't really need a phone for the majority of your participation in this project moving forward with the Bee model, which is really a great thing because this needs to be a lot more passive than it is today. And that's one of the major benefits of this new model of dashcam. Now, I expect that you will likely need your phone to set up your wallet at the beginning, and then likely to get your dashcam placement to make sure that you have a good mount score and can get full rewards. But from that point forward, if you have the Wi-Fi version, if you are connected to a Wi-Fi connection, you'll be able to upload imagery. You won't need the phone to do that anymore, which is really a glorious thing. That said, thinking through this a little bit, I think people should be aware of what that process looks like, because if your goal is to get home and connect to your home Wi-Fi and upload, I don't believe there's any sort of a battery that is going to be incorporated into this design. So you would have to leave your car running for a period of time, or have some sort of a battery bank that you set it up on in order to keep the camera powered on once you get home to upload through your Wi-Fi at your house. Now, if you have a hotspot that is integrated into your vehicle, you might be able to utilize that. The LTE version, though, has Wi-Fi capabilities, but it will also have the ability to connect through a cellular connection. So that will be able to upload as you drive. And I think that that is likely going to be the best option for most people. That said, we don't know what the cost of these LTE plans are yet. And I would imagine that Hivemapper is speaking with, the major cell providers as well as, options like Helium. Now, it would make sense to me though that they will go with the lowest cost option. Considering how many dash cams are going to need connectivity, hopefully they can work out some sort of a discounted deal. I think the major outstanding detail here is how much data are they expecting to upload? Because I think all these cell carriers, and Helium included, they're going to want to know how much data is going to be transferred over the network. And I don't think they have that answer quite yet. But that does lead me to another one of the major features that's going to be coming with the Bee. And that is the ability to do edge processing. Because in its current state with the HDC, they're doing some limited edge processing, like blurring faces, blurring license plates. But they're really pushing that hardware to its limits. The Bee is going to have a lot more capabilities in that respect. So I would expect that there will be a lot more edge processing on top of just blurring faces, blurring license plates. They'll be able to identify street signs and different features that are valuable to the customer. And by doing that, they will be able to limit the amount of data that needs to be uploaded to the useful data. So as opposed to uploading thousands, tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of images, depending on how long you're driving, they will be able to upload a lot less imagery. And that's going to be absolutely critical in negotiating these different LTE plans by limiting that data consumption need. But I do expect they'll have that squared away pretty soon. The other aspect of that that's really cool and I think very interesting about the future state of Hivemapper is they're going to be able to, by edge processing, get that data ready for consumption in the end customer a lot faster. And that's really the biggest differentiator with this project, as opposed to, say, a Google Maps, is that you'll be able to get fresh imagery. And if you can make that data ready and valuable to the customer as close as possible to the point of collection, that really moves the needle for this project. So I think, all things considered, it's going to be a lot more passive. You won't have to use your phone anymore, and getting that data readily available for the consumer a lot faster. All of that is very, very positive for the outlook of this project. Now, that brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, which is the makeup of contribution or the contributors with this project. To this point, it's been a lot of individual contributors. There's been a lot of entrepreneurial fleets, like I have, for example, where individuals will buy cameras and place them with drivers. I believe moving forward, they're going to be a lot more focused on going after commercial fleets, business owners that have 20, 50, 100 vehicles in their fleet, and focusing on features outside of just the honey rewards. And I think that's smart on a lot of different levels. But first, I want to talk about those different features, because many small business owners are currently paying for fleet management tools. And smaller businesses, they don't need a whole lot of bells and whistles. They want to know where their employees are, run like trip reports, maybe track if they're speeding or driving aggressively, that sort of thing. With the LTE version, they'll be able to track those different metrics. Additionally, you'd be able to add the ability to track if there's an accident and have some sort of visual collection of data, for like an insurance situation or something of that nature. So I think if they can add those features and really go after some of these commercial fleets, and they would be able to get rid of their fleet management tools that they're currently paying for, which I can tell you are not cheap. They'd have the LTE plan, but that would, in a sense, replace their other fleet management tools while also allowing them to, monetize that data that their employees are collecting. It also allows even, entrepreneurial fleets to move into a whole new sector because, for example, I know somebody that has a shipping company. With a completely passive dash cam, I will be able to much more easily deploy into those fleets. I would only have to work with the business owner, and we'd be able to put these dash cams in the different vehicles without having to really include the driver in that whole equation. Because as it stands today, the driver will have to connect with some sort of device, make sure things are getting uploaded. And it's a lot more of a hassle and a lot more work to manage that type of fleet. Whereas with, the LTE-B, that becomes far easier to deploy. And I think it's going to really allow, fleet managers to ramp up their fleet size and tap into a market that we haven't really been able to tap into previously, at least without a lot of oversight and a lot of extra work. And the other thing this does, though, is, if a business owner is really focused on the features of their fleet management tools, the reward aspect becomes secondary. All of a sudden, you're not as susceptible to crypto market cycles because crypto is very volatile. And this project to succeed really needs to have consistent data collection. So if you remove that volatility aspect to it, I think they'll find that they have a lot more consistent data. That said, I do think individual contributors and entrepreneurial fleet managers are going to be a critical part of this project moving forward. Do I see, commercial fleets becoming a much larger aspect? Absolutely. I think we're going to see, a healthy mix of all of it. And I just hope that, the team realizes, us individual contributors and, fleet managers have gotten this project to where it is. And we are still going to be very important for this project moving forward. And I just hope that moving forward, they make sure to take care of the contributors and read the community sentiment with future MIPs. But if they do execute on the Bee, I think there are some very bright times ahead for this project. Still, we are still very early in this project. The HDC got us to where we are today, but it's not capable of doing what we need for the project to thrive moving forward and into the future. And I think the Bee is going to allow us to take that next step. And to me, that's super exciting. And I do have Bee pre-orders. Me personally, I'll probably continue to use my HDCs until they die out. They have a 1-year warranty. And then as that happens, I'm going to start, deploying these Bees to replace those with drivers. And I'll probably start to focus, on my drivers that are my top performers first, and then kind of work down from there as I get more shipments in. But I am curious to see what your thoughts are. Please do make sure to comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with your friends and other contributors in the Hivemapper space. As always, I appreciate your viewership. Signing off, this is Bradley Meyer with the DePIN Connection.